In our meditation series, we've been working on quieting down, focusing on the breath, which is very important to not only gain a calm mind, but also to quiet our minds of various types of distracting thoughts, judgmental thoughts, or any type of mental wandering. And then we worked on developing a caring attitude. This caring attitude is that we take seriously that other people and ourselves have feelings, that the way that we act and treat them, the way we speak with them is going to affect their feelings, just as the way that they speak to us and treat us affects our feelings. So recognizing that we all have feelings as human beings, then we care about the effect of our feelings on others, the effect of our behavior on others. We care about them as human beings. So the next logical step from that is developing compassion for others. Compassion is not looking down on others with pity, in which we think that we're in such a better position and we feel sorry for them. But it's based on empathy, a feeling that what others experience is something that we experience ourselves. With pity, you make a distance between yourself and others, whereas with empathy, you make a closeness. We see that we're the same. Nobody wants to have suffering. So compassion then is the wish for others to be free of suffering and its causes, just as we would want to be free of them ourselves. It's not just wishful thinking, but where we know that it's hopeless, but at least, we wish that they could be free of their suffering and its causes, but it's based on confidence that it's possible to be free of them. That means that we have to really understand what the causes of suffering are and be convinced that it is possible to actually get rid of them. Compassion also contains an element of willingness to help and the intention to help in whatever way we can. So it's not just a passive state of mind, but it is more active. It leads us to actually helping others in either a physical or material way if it's needed, or mentally we generate the state of mind that others need for overcoming their problems, and we imagine sending it out. So there are many different aspects for our compassion to be complete, and these are things that we need to work on individually in terms of really, as I say, being convinced that it is possible to be free of suffering based on our own experience of suffering and our own realization that we can be free. We can be free, so can everybody else. So we have compassion. The meditation that we're going to be doing on compassion is, again, a type of analytical meditation. Remember that analytical meditation means to regard something or discern something in a certain way. So we have a line of reasoning, which we build up to a state of mind, and we go through that step by step, trying to see the whatever it is that we're focusing on in the light of that attitude, and then we generate the end product, which in here is going to be the state of mind of compassion. So we go through this process not just to understand it because we're trying to figure it out and become convinced that it works, but we've familiarized ourselves with the process already. So in this, what I like to call discerning meditation or analytical meditation, we discern it step by step and then focus with concentration on that final state of mind that we are aiming to generate. So let's begin, and with each meditation, that we do, we start with a short phase of just focusing on the breath to quiet down. To start our meditation, we begin by quieting down our minds and our emotional state by focusing on the breath, just breathing normally through the nose, not too fast, not too slow, not too deeply, not too shallowly. If we have a lot of distracting thoughts, we can count our breath. If not, just focus on the sensation of the breath coming in and out the nose. In light of the recent earthquakes that have happened in Nepal, let's use this as an example for developing compassion. So with a quiet state of mind, imagine that you yourself have lost your home and all your possessions in an earthquake, and you have to sleep in the open and struggle to find food and water, and you have no money to rebuild your life. You feel totally hopeless and depressed, overwhelmed by the tragedy and how we would feel if we were in this situation. Your home is gone, your possessions are gone, maybe even a family member has been killed. You're outside and it's cold and it's raining. And imagine how desperately we want to be free of this situation. And although the situation itself is quite horrible, try to realize that the cause of our unhappiness is our depression about it. That's what makes it even worse. Being depressed is certainly not going to help. So try to generate the determination to be free of this depression and to find the means for rebuilding our life. which means developing courage. Then imagine your mother is in the same situation. We're sitting comfortably in our homes outside of Nepal, and there's our mother in Nepal, and she lost everything. She feels just as terrible as we would have felt. And she's depressed. And switch that determination to be free from ourselves to our mother. And develop the compassion that is the determination for her to be free of her depression, her suffering, her unhappiness. And wish for her not to give up hope, but to have the courage and strength to rebuild her life. And imagine transferring to her, giving to her that courage and strength to rebuild, to be free of her depression, and to have courage, not give up. And then imagine the same thing with the hundreds of thousands of Nepalis in this situation, and extend that compassion out to all of them. To make it stronger, we could imagine ourselves actually being there with all the people. Huge ground filled with all these people sleeping out and terrified of the earthquake and having lost everything. And how wonderful it would be if everybody could overcome their depression, their anxiety. And may that happen. And may I be able to help bring that to them, to give them the strength and courage to rebuild. To get over their depression and feeling of hopelessness. We can use the same procedure with emotional imbalance. Recall a time when you were emotionally unbalanced. Not only in these dramatic situation of being caught in the earthquake, but in general in our lives. Often we're emotionally unbalanced, and how horrible that is. And realize that we can gain emotional balance by developing a calm, clear mind. And generate the determination to be free of our imbalance. Enough already. Tired of being tossed here and there by my emotional imbalance. And extend it to our mother. She's emotionally imbalanced. How awful that is. How wonderful it would be if she could be free of that. Calm down and gain balance. Develop that compassion for her to be free of this suffering. and then extend this compassion to others, larger and larger sphere of others, till it encompasses everyone. May everybody be free of emotional imbalance. How wonderful that would be. If everybody could calm down, gain balance. By generating that in ourselves, imagine that goes out to everyone, to be free of their imbalance. Just as I want to be free of my emotional imbalance and the difficulty it gives me, nobody else enjoys their emotional imbalance. May they be free of it. They can be free of it if they calm down. Gain clarity of mind. May everybody be free of their emotional imbalances. May everybody be free of all their sufferings. Then slowly we focus on the breath again as a way to come out of our meditation and let the experience settle. So that's the basic type of meditation that we do on compassion. As we saw, it is based on first thinking of ourselves having a certain type of suffering and how we definitely want to be free of it. We're determined to be free of it and determined to get rid of its causes as the way to become free of it. And so on that basis, we develop empathy for others who have the same type of suffering. And once we have generated this determination to be free, then we simply switch it to others. And we start with those for whom we have the closest relations, so that there is some emotional feeling that naturally comes. Usually we do this with our mothers, but if we don't have a particularly close relation with our mother, we can use it with anybody toward whom we have very strong, positive, loving feelings. And if they were suffering, we certainly would want them to be free of it and the causes of it. And then slowly we extend it out to others. We can do that in stages with the rest of our family, our friends, our neighbors, people who live in our city, both people we like, people we don't like, strangers, and extend it further and further out until it encompasses everyone. We can expand our compassion like that in steps, or if that's not needed, we can just think in terms of everyone, but try not to have that to be vague, although that's difficult. And then we focus that wish. May they be free. How wonderful it would be if they were free of this suffering and its causes, and may they be free. And may I be able to help them. And then thinking of others who are working to help everyone gain inspiration to actually do something to help them. And if we think of what would be of help materially, we give it to them if we're able. Somebody's very sad, we give them a hug. You don't have to give them money, obviously. But in many cases, what people need is a change of attitude, as in our example of feeling hopeless and depressed in the disaster, to have the courage to rebuild, to go on with our lives. Or when we have emotional imbalance, to calm down and regain our balance with the many, many methods that we have in the Buddhist training. If we're able to develop this compassion in our meditation, we build it up as a beneficial habit so that it becomes a more deeply ingrained neural pathway in terms of what we automatically feel and automatically act upon in any situation, then we're able to extend it to others in various situations around us, not only in meditation, but in our daily lives. And this is the aim, not to just have compassion in our meditation, but to actually have it in action when we're working with people. So we think whatever positive habit, whatever positive force we've been building up, may it contribute to being able to develop this compassion sincerely. Might be a bit artificial to start with, but the more we work on it, the more sincerely we'll feel it, so that we can truly be of best help to everyone, to help them to overcome their suffering and difficulties in life.